You tune in to Floridian Rollo. I'm your host, Floridian Rollo, and I am coming at you with another live stream. What's going on, everybody? What's up, people? What's up? What's up? What's up? Apparently, something is going on with Restream right now. Something is going on with the Restream. I don't know what's going on with the Restream. So let me see if I see anybody in the chat. Restream is having issues, technical difficulties. Something is going on with the Restream. So let me see what's happening here on my end. All right, so more people will be getting notifications. So right now, I don't know what's going on. Everything is acting up. I should be good to go. Trying to see if everything's good. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. I do apologize for a little bit of technical difficulties. It's working. All right, it should be working. I don't know what's going on with Restream. So if you come in the chat, make sure you be respectful. So without further ado, let's hear what the mayor of New York City has to say. All right, let's go.
Nearly 4 years ago, Gracie Mansion became my home. Who would have thought that a kid from South Nearly 4 years ago, Gracie Mansion became my home. Who would have thought that a kid from South Jamaica, Queens, growing up with learning disabilities could one day become the mayor of the greatest city in the world?
So he talked about his situation. So Mayor Adams is coming out talking about he had certain disabilities, and whoever would have thought he's saying to himself that I will become the mayor of New York City, the greatest city in the world. Let's continue.
I cannot thank my mother enough for instilling in me the values she lived by. I hope every parent can use my life as an example for their child during challenging moments. Only in America.
Did you hear that? He said only in America. Let's continue.
Can a story like this be told? When I was elected to serve as your mayor, I said these words: this campaign was never about me. It was about the people of this.
If you listen to the people a few years back, you and the other governor, who's now is in a mayor candidate situation, Cuomo, if y'all two would not have, did you know what? Maybe more people would not have left New York City. More people have left New York City under your watch with Cuomo, with Governor Holcomb, than any other mayor and governor in the history of New York and New York City. And we got some footage to be talking about the downfall of New York City, what's going on there. In the meantime, this mayor is explaining why he left. All right? Let's continue.
City, from every neighborhood and background, who had been left behind and believed they would never catch up. This campaign was for the underserved.
Did you hear what he just said? Listen.
And background, who had been left behind and believed they would never catch up.
New York City has not catched up during the shutdown, Mayor. With all due respect, while some things have been added and adjusted on your watch, the truth of the matter is it did not help people with family. A lot of people left on your watch. A lot of people with family, a lot of entrepreneurs have left that city. They're not coming back for the most part. Let's go.
This campaign was for the underserved, the marginalized, the abandoned, and betrayed by government. Since then, it has been my honor.
How they was betrayed by government and you helped agree to bring these people in droves 2 years back, Mayor. On your watch. It's on your watch, sir. Come on now. Let's go.
To be your mayor, and I'm proud to say that we took that victory 4 years ago and turned it into action, making this city better for those who have been failed by government. I felt.
How is the city better? We need to know how is the city better over there.
Immense pride serving you every day. And look at what we accomplished together. We built more housing in one term than any administration before us and removed barriers to build even more. We drove crime down so far that this year we are on track to have fewer shootings and murders than at any point in our city's history.
No. You're not on Giuliani's radar. Listen, the top mayor of all time and the top governor of all time is Mayor Giuliani and Governor Pataki. You're not even close to that. With all due respect, you're not even close to that. You're not the top mayor of all time. The top mayor of all time is Rudolph Giuliani and Governor Pataki. Those are the top two of all time. That's when New York City was really on top during their regime. Let's continue.
We raised test scores and attendance through bold education reforms. We made record investments that fueled our economy and drove employment to all-time highs. And we lowered costs for working and low-income families. We made record investments that fueled our economy and drove employment to all-time highs.
I don't know about that. What do you mean you and your administration gave employment at an all-time high? People are barely getting by in New York City. What do you mean the employment is better than on your watch? No, it's not. Sir, it's not. There's a lot of places closing. There's nothing for the teenagers to do because they don't know how to behave. It's out of order up there.
And we lowered costs for working and low-income families.
No. The taxes is closer to New Jersey, which have the highest tax in America is New Jersey. You are on the verge of going to New Jersey when it comes to the tax breakage, sir. People are going through it up there. It's crazy. Let's continue.
And in funding for rental vouchers, childcare, and household costs. Why?
I will give you that. You gave people opportunities for rental vouchers and opportunities to get themselves situated, get back on their feet. You correct about that. That's one thing you did correct. You have made it more feasible for people to get back on their feet so they could get an opportunity to take care of their families. At the same time, the money is not mapping up to the responsibilities they really need to take care of, sir. Taxes is too high up there for the majority of the people that's working there. Let's say you're making $15 an hour there. The average person may make $15, $17 an hour. You'll be saying they're making $7, $8 an hour. They're making $7, $8 an hour after taxes. Come on now. It's not how much you make an hour. Let me explain something to y'all. Never go by how much you make an hour. Subtract how much you make an hour. That's what you make an hour. So if you're making $15, $17 in New York an hour, you're actually making $8, $9 an hour, $10 an hour after taxes. When New York was $10, $13 an hour, and I used to make $10, $13 an hour in New York City, $10 an hour will be considered $6 an hour after taxes. $13 an hour will be considered 7.50 cents an hour. So don't ever go by how much you make an hour. Now in Florida, if you're making that, you're doing more for your buck than you would in some New York or any of these high tax brackets. Okay? There's a difference. The only ones that were doing pretty good because they put the work in, they studied, they learned, is the people that went into the trade. People learn how to build with their hands. Those people found ways to make serious money because they put in the work. Yeah, if you're talking about regular work, sir, people are on conditions such as never before. And it's hard to get time off because the bills and everything is tremendously high in New York City. So you did give people a break. You are correct about that. You gave people breaks when it comes to rent. At the same time, even though you give those people breaks, they still had it hard to get by for themselves. Let's continue.
Eliminating the income tax burden for more than 500,000 New Yorkers. Even so, I know many New Yorkers have yet to feel the full impact of these historic achievements. I know many are still worried about affordability, about safety.
You realizing that now that a lot of them is concerned about affordability, concerned about taking care of their family and loved ones?
And their future here. But trust me when I tell you, What we've started will continue to reach every community in this city.
Not under that communist that's coming around. Not under him. That communist is going to make it even worse than you. He's going to make you look like a little bit of an angel. Let's continue.
It's not always easy to see the impact of good policy in just 3 years. I also know some remain unsure of me after the unfortunate events surrounding my federal case.
I told y'all he was going to go to jail. And so he made a deal with Trump. And in that deal with Trump, he stepped down. So I didn't see him winning the race to begin with. His own constituents didn't help and support him. They don't care for him anymore. They're already lobbying with this communist. They just want to take New York City off the radar. Let's continue.
I was wrongfully charged because I fought for this city. And if I had to do it again, I would fight for New York again.
If you had to do it again, you would fight for New York. Then why you allowed the shutdown? Why you made it mandatory for people to do this and do that? If they didn't do it, they got fired. You didn't help too many people. A lot of people lost their opportunity to take care of their family. Some people are no longer around. Sir, you have a lot of blood in your hands, respectfully. You have to deal with those type of situation. I mean, hey, you dropped out. You speaking on behalf. You know, I know you miss your moms. Condolences to those who miss their moms. I know it's very tough. You know, and so I'm not going at that angle. I'm going at you, sir. You did not do a great job of making sure the people in New York City wanted to stay. And they're not coming back. The people are not coming back to their city. You cannot pay them. People are not willing to take the pay, the offer. It's not worth the squeeze. Let's continue.
And yet, despite all we've achieved, I cannot continue my re-election campaign. The constant media speculation about my future and the campaign finance board's decision to withhold millions of dollars have undermined my ability to raise the funds needed for a serious campaign.
They've been done with you 2 years ago. They've been done with you 2 years ago because you realized you hurt the real New Yorkers. You got wind that the real New Yorkers was leaving. And a lot of them left with their wallet. And so now you wanted to play both sides. 1 minute you was for the migrants, now you're not for the migrants. Now you want American, particularly New York City, to be number one again. It will not be number one because it's gone through a down spiral because the people now have voted for the communists instead of voting for truth. Let's continue.
I hope that over time, New Yorkers will see this city thrive under our leadership and that policies we put in place should be continued and expanded. I hope you will see that despite the headlines and innuendo, I always put you before me, always.
You know that he's watching people's content because we know who says innuendo. That demon, that warlock, that cast spells. He talks about innuendo. So now, Adams, you're a monitoring spirit? You're a monitoring spirit talking about innuendos? Or are you talking about the people that once who support you are monitoring spirits? Listen again.
And expanded. I hope you will see that despite the headlines and innuendo, I always put you before me, always. I'm proud of the historic.
If you put the people before you, then why a lot of people is leaving? Why is a lot of people leaving? Why is a lot of people leaving? Let's continue.
Leadership team we built. Appointing the first Dominican, Indian, and Filipino deputy mayors, the first woman to serve as fire commissioner and police commissioner, the first Korean commissioner at Small Business Services, the first Spanish speaker to lead the NYPD and DOT, and the first Jewish woman to head the NYPD Intelligence Division. We built leadership that looks like New York. That mattered to me because at my core, I'm still Dorothy Adams' son. Raised with the values she instilled in me, forged in my church and in my community, tested again and again in the fight for justice. Those values, working class values, would never allow me to betray my city. They have always guided me to ask and answer one simple question. How do I?
Did this man say he didn't betray the city? Did y'all hear this? He said that he ain't betrayed the city. Yes, you have. You're trying to save face yourself now because of the backlash you was getting. Listen to this again. He's talking about he saved the city.
In the fight for justice. Those values, working class values, would never allow me to betray my city. They have always guided me to ask and answer one simple question. How do I help those who need it most? Whoever follows me at City Hall must continue the work we started, lowering the cost of living, investing in quality of life, and staying laser focused on reducing crime and disorder.
Now you're talking about you want to lower the taxes? I've been hearing that mumbo jumbo for a long time that they was going to lower the taxes in New York City. That's a whole lot, especially with that migrant mayor that you got running as a communist. That entity, it's going to get worse.
Through investments in policing, mental health, substance abuse care, homelessness services, and community-based initiatives. But
The average American in New York is I call it homeless workers. If you start hearing any other content creator say that, they got it from here because you have larger platforms, you have mega platforms. They watch my channel. A few months back, we had a channel that had over 4 or 5 million subscribers. So don't be thinking that these mega subscribers don't watch my channel. They may not say anything in the chat. One happened to say something in the chat, and upon my research, they had 4 or 5 million following. So I'll call those the mega subscribers, the mega following. And then you have those that have a following, like my big bro Ringo and Brainwaves. They have a following. They have a huge following. I call the mega followings the million subscribers and up. Those are the mega followings, those that watch my platform. So don't think for 1 second that if you don't hear somebody say that, don't be surprised. Homeless worker. If you start hearing other content creators saying that, they got it from here. Homeless workers. There's a lot of people in NYC that work and they homeless. Why? How you mean they homeless? They're in an apartment, Raul, or they got a house. They're homeless worker because they no different than a person who's living in the street, except they got a little bit more things to do. Yet it's not that far off. It's become a third world country, New York City. Let's continue.
I must also sound a warning. Extremism is growing in our politics. Our children are being radicalized to hate our city and our country.
No. Mayor, can y'all hear me? My thing just went out. Can y'all hear me and see me? Put a 5 in the chat. My thing just went out. And so, Mayor, becoming former mayor, we're going to hear what he say again, y'all. kind of lost my train of thought.
Extremism is growing in our politics.
Well, we've been noticing that. Now watch what he says.
Children are being radicalized to hate our city and our country.
To hate our cities and hate the country. Well, sir, you have people in your jurisdiction that don't want the city to grow. Are you going to call them out? Have you been calling them out? I'm not sure. I haven't been watching what you've been saying. I'm just going by what you say, which you have a point. There's a lot of young people, there's a lot of people that can't stand this country. We could agree with that. At the same time, you was once for the migrants. You wasn't once for the New York citizens. You didn't apply the pressure on the migrants like you did on the U.S. citizens when it comes to taking a certain situation at that particular time. They didn't have to take it. The people that was born in New York or moved to New York, that's an American citizen, had to take it. And that's what really crumbled New York City, sir. Let's go.
Political anger is turning into political violence.
Okay, you calling out your constituents. You're calling out the Ibaracis. Listen to this part again. He's calling out his own constituents, y'all. Mayor Adams is calling out his own constituents. Listen.
Let's also sound a warning. Extremism is growing in our politics. Our children are being radicalized to hate our city and our country. Political anger is turning into political violence.
We agree with that. We agree with that 100%. Now, it seemed like you have a little bit of a change of heart. You realize you messed up the city. You realize Governor Holcomb, your running mate, since you're no longer in the primary election, Governor Cuomo, who was working with you at the time, applied pressure to take you know what, and it has crumbled the city that was once beautiful. Let's go.
Too often, insidious forces use local government to advance divisive agendas with little regard for how it hurts everyday New Yorkers. Major change is welcome and necessary, but beware of those who claim the answer to destroy the very system we built together over generations. That is not change, that is chaos. Instead,
Well, you help amplify the chaos. With all due respect, Mayor, you seem like you want to hold yourself accountable for your actions. However, you played the role of New York City. Not only has it not been the top city for a long time, no one even wants to go there and live there, let alone visit there. You know, I haven't looked at the tourist thing. I'm going to look it up to see who had the most tourists. That's going to be a separate video. Somebody remind me, on Instagram or on my phone, to make content about who had the most tourists in the summertime in 2025. So a lot of people don't have New York City in a top 5 no more. Back in the days, yeah, not no more. Let's continue.
I urge New Yorkers to choose leaders not by what they promise, but by what they have delivered. Although this is the
Wait a minute, Mayor, you're using my talking point. Don't go by what they say, go by what they do. Mayor, you've been watching my platform. That's my talking point, Mayor. One of your teammates or team members told you, hey, you got to use Rollo's talking point. That's my talking point. Don't go by what people say, go by their actions. Action speaks louder than words, right? Wow. You used my talking point. Listen again.
over generations. That is not change, that is chaos. Instead, I urge New Yorkers to choose leaders not by what they promise, but by what they have delivered.
Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Salute again to Forever Studio in the building. Shout out to Forever Studio in the building. Make sure y'all go check out his channel, also Ringo TV Reactions and Brainwave Suffice Topper LLC's platforms. So we have Brenda in the house, we have Keystone in the house, we have Tammy in the house, long time. Haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you. We got Brenda in the house. We got Corey in the house. And other people that's viewing, make sure you double tap the light screen on your way in. Double tap the light screen on your way in. If you want to support the platform, you could do it via Super Chat, or you want to hit the Cash App and support the work. It's there for you if you have any questions. All right. Appreciate you all for tuning in. All right, let's continue.
Although this is the end of my re-election campaign, it is not the end of my public service. I will continue to fight for this city, as I have for 40 years since the day I joined the NYPD, to make our streets safer and our systems fairer.
How's that working for a lot of people leaving under your watch? You had a biggest exodus in the history of New York City under your watch and under the governor's watch, of the two governors you had dealt with, that you worked with. Let's continue.
The quest for justice is far from over. Inequality persists. Innocents still suffer. New Yorkers deserve better every single day. And until
now he's talking about innocent people is going through it. Of course, people that's moving correctly in New York always getting targeted by the thugs, the criminals, and y'all promoted that. And now you don't want to promote it no more. All of a sudden, you want to promote people that's on point.
the end of my term, I will fight for just that. We face the fallout of COVID, a surge in crime, and
Did you hear what he said? Hold on. Listen.
of my term, I will fight for just that. We face the fallout of COVID, a surge in crime, an unprecedented migrant crisis, and economic devastation all at once.
Under your watch. So you okay with all that you just said? You happy with that? You happy with that statement, Mayor? That's not to be happy about. That's not to be complimenting. To see people going through crisis and changes and don't know if they're going to get their next meal. Don't know if they're going to be providing for their family. That's not cool, Mayor. That's cold and wicked. You only had to change your heart because you've been investigated. When you wasn't investigated, you had all this Ibarazzi talk. When you started getting investigated, especially by the administration of Trump, all of a sudden now you want to do the right thing. See, that's that coward. That's like New Breed. New Breed flip-flops. This mayor flip-flop, y'all. He flip-flop. 1 minute he's down with the agenda of making New York City not a place to visit, not a place to stay, to now he's talking about this should be a place to visit, a place to stay. Come on now. Let's go.
And together, we turn things around by listening to everyday people and providing solutions instead of speeches.
That's my talking point. Now you're using my talking point again. Listen to what he say, y'all.
We turn things around by listening to everyday people and providing solutions instead of speeches.
You can't make this up, y'all. You can't make this up. He's projecting at this point because he know he did a terrible job. He's trying to compare himself to Giuliani. Giuliani wasn't talking. He was about action. My grandmother, RIP to my dad's mother, my grandmother, that is, RIP to her. She met Mayor Giuliani, the greatest mayor of all time. She got to go to where Adams is at currently. She got to go there. My grandmother, she got to go there for my dad's mother, got to go there to meet the mayor Giuliani. My aunt was an officer. She got to meet the mayor. So my cousin, which is my aunt, my dad's sister, he's worked for the DA. So it's like many of my family members was into the political ramification. You know, I told you I got a cousin that's in the cabinet house of representatives. So, you know, it is what it is. The point is, if he really cared for the New York people, he would not make that mandate. He would not make it mandatory for people to do this, to do that, to take care of their family. Sir, you did not want to see families win. Now you're talking about families at the last minute. That's what these entities do, y'all. Let's continue.
That gives me hope. That gives unprecedented migrant crisis and economic devastation all at once. And together, we turn things around by listening to everyday people and providing solutions instead of speeches. That gives me hope. That gives us a roadmap to a better future. My fellow New Yorkers, this is your city. Its leaders work for you. I am one of you. My story is your story. I lived the struggle, but I never stopped loving this city. That is why I ran for mayor, to turn my pain into purpose. And I will keep fighting for the city, no matter what, from City Hall or beyond, because I am a New Yorker, and fighting for our city is just what I do. Thank you. God.
Says the mayor that came to Florida. You came to Florida a month ago, I was told. You came to visit. You was down, I guess, near Fort Lauderdale. You had an issue with Florida one particular time, Mayor Adams. All of a sudden, yeah, I like Florida. Of course you like Florida.
Bless New York.
God bless New York. Listen to this, y'all.
Mayor Eric Adams dropping out of the mayoral race, and it's leaving three candidates left in the
Listen, here
contest:
we
Zohran
go.
Mamdani, Andrew Cuomo, and Curtis Lewa.
All right, one of them here right now reacting to the mayor's announcement, the Republican nominee for New York City Mayor, Curtis Lewa. Nice to see you this morning. You're all fired up. What do you think?
20 hours a day. I'm in the subways and streets. No other candidates are there. 36 days to go. If you happen to be Jewish, that's double high, 18 times 2. I mean, all the signs are so good. I'm not sitting shiva for Eric Adams. He should have been in jail with Bobby Menendez. He was a crook, and it was the president who saved him. A lot of great prosecutors who were Republican and conservative resigned their careers as U.S. attorneys in the integrity unit because of Eric Adams. So remember, he was always playing the Price is Right with Bob Barker. Let's make a deal with Monty Hall. It was all for the money.
All right, listen.
That's why he dropped out.
There are people, including the Daily News.
He was all for the money. He was all for the money, huh? Tell it, sir. Tell it. Tell it. Go in on him. Go in on him.
This morning who are saying that you need to drop out.
Oh,
that you don't have a shot. And you've talked about billionaires trying to buy you out, but you haven't said who they are.
well, first off, Rosanna.
Give me one name.
Hold on, Rosanna.
One name,
Scotto.
just one
Rosanna
name.
Scotto. Herschel Barrero, who is a supporter of Andrew Cuomo, went on New York One with Errol Lewis and said he knew the people, he knew the calls were made. I warned everybody.
Well,
I'm wired up like a Christmas tree.
All right, but
you try to bribe me, I go to the authorities.
Because it's
They try to bribe him. He say Mayor Adams get bribed easily. You can't bribe me. I'm not gonna sell out New York City for your gratifications like Adams did. Let's continue.
Easy to say somebody tried to bribe you without really saying a name.
Wait, Roseanne, these billionaires have been wrong every step of the way. First, they love Cuomo. Then, on the rebound, they went to Eric Adams. Remember back in June 24th when Cuomo lost? What was everybody saying that I should do at that point? Drop out for Eric Adams. How did that work out? I'm the only consistent candidate, and I'm in it to win it. I represent law and order values of the Republican Party. Also, I'm the only candidate ever on the independent, protect animals line, no-kill shelters, put animal abuse.
I'm not with that middle ground. I'm with Ringo on that. It's either you conservative or you liberal. It's either you conservative or Ibarasi. Shout out to Ringo for pointing it out. You know, he talked about he was independent. You can't be in the middle. It's either you conservative or you Ibarasi. Playing both sides is not good. Ringo's correct, y'all. Let's continue.
In jail. I have a following. More signs, more headquarters 7. I've raised more than Eric Adams, Cuomo, and Zoran Mandami locally in the last 2 quarters. Why should I drop out?
Curtis, I noticed did not give a name there. She asked you twice. Did not give a name. I understand that. Maybe you don't want to. But you say they did offer you a bribe.
Yes.
What do you mean by that? Was it money?
Come on now. You don't, dude, you know what bribe is. Stop being facetious. You or Xana is being facetious at this time. Come on now. Stop it. Come on. You know what a bribe is. Y'all playing games.
Under the table? Was it a job here? What can you say specifically what it was that was offered to you?
7 different people, a total of $10 million when you bifurcate it out over the years. Car, Jeeves, chauffeur, headquarters to operate out of, helping the guardian angels, helping animal welfare. And you know something, if you're watching out there, you can't bribe me, buy me, lease me. I'm not for sale. I trust the people to make the decision by November 4th. I'm out in the streets every day in the subways where the other candidates don't go.
You said the billion.
One thing about him is he's consistent. He's consistent now. A lot of people that deal with him and work with him or have conversations with him, he keeps it 100. So he's not playing. Let's continue.
Knock yourself out. Those are the words that you used when you spoke about it yesterday. But there are critics who will say your campaign at this point is more symbolic than it is that you could actually win. What do you say to those critics?
Symbolic. We have 2 debates coming up. Who's the law and order candidate now? There's Andrew Cuomo, right? No cash bail Cuomo. He raised the age to 18. Lisa Evers, who I happen to know well, as you know, Roseanne, I did that special, how juvenile gang crime is at an all-time high. Why? Because it raised the age of Cuomo. Cuomo wants to shut Rikers Island, as does Zoran Mandami. They're like a 2-headed hydra. They're anti-police, they're anti-law and order, they're pro-criminal. Andrew Cuomo released more cop killers than any other governor in the history of New York State.
He going in.
With the death of the #1 cop killer, head of the Black Liberation Army, Joanne Chestnut. You know how many Black Liberation Army killers of cops that Andrew Cuomo released? So they're pro-cop killer. I mean, the DSA just said, oh, Joanne Chestnut, we love her. I'm the only law and order candidate, right? Hire 7,000 police. I want the homeless unit restored to the police department that did a great job. I want cops patrolling on the moving subway cars.
Is it fair to link Assata Shakur, I mean, that's to Andrew Cuomo? I mean, it's a New Jersey case. That's she died in Cuba over the weekend. I mean, that what you're linking there is, it seems like it doesn't exactly.
Wait, excuse me. How old are you?
How old are you?
71.
They're going back and forth. Hold on, y'all. They're going back and forth. It was bound to happen. Look at Rosanna. Look at her expression. Pay attention.
She died in Cuba over the weekend. I mean, that what you're linking there is, it seems like it doesn't exactly.
Wait, excuse me. How old are you?
How old are you?
71.
Okay.
I lived through the Black Liberation Army.
Understand.
I remember when they were targeting cops and killing cops at random. I know that Andrew Cuomo has released 46, his parole board, cop killers in just 8 years. Tell me he supports the police. I'm the only one who says you kill a cop, you should rot in jail. right? Does Zoran Mandami say that? No, the DSA actually praised the queen of all cop killers, Black Liberation Army leader Joanne Chestnut, #1 wanted in Cuba by not only Trump, but every American president previously. I know my history. I'm the true New Yorker. I'm in all 350 neighborhoods, 472 subway platforms. When's the last time you saw any of these candidates on a subway, on a bus, on an express bus? They don't deal with commuters. Your viewers are commuters, 6 million a day. I represent their interests. I listen to them.
So, Curtis, there are analysts.
You could tell with her frustration, with her being a co-host, you could tell that she's frustrated with her analysts. She has to, make sure everything's good. She's not trying to get involved, which is smart of Roseanne. She let the men finish, then she start talking. That's how it's supposed to be. That's not to say women can't say something if something ain't right. She's supposed to, interject. I'm just saying in retrospect. All right, let's continue. Listen to what she has to say.
For you to drop out of the race right now, it's complicated. It's all about the money. You would have to repay $2 million or so.
No, more.
More.
I've raised way more. I'll have $6 million.
Right. So you'd have to repay all this money, and maybe that's why you don't want to drop out.
Oh, come on, Rosanna. This concept of dropping. Who are the only two people who've dropped out? Andrew Cuomo, when he was governor, and he fled Albany because he was going to get indicted by Tish James, right? He fled.
Well, that's a good point.
And now Eric Adams, he's dropped out. I've never dropped out of anything in my life. I'm like John Paul Jones. You know this. That statue in Bay Ridge, I had just begun to fire. 36 days, and I'm taking it to Zoran Mandami in his areas. Astoria, Long Island City, Brooklyn Heights, Park Slope, Sunset Park, Ridgewood. Do you see Andrew Cuomo campaigning in those areas where Zoran kicked his butt in the Democratic primary? The answer is no.
Let's say it does come down to the margins. Eric Adams was polling between 7 to 9%. How can you peel away any of those voters? Because most likely they're not all going to go to Cuomo. Maybe they don't all go to Mamdani. Is there a lane for you to pick up any of those voters?
Yo, they really want him to drop out the race. They want him to drop out the race, y'all.
You're obsessed with polls. I remember watching you. Oh, Cuomo's 40 points ahead of Zoran Mandami. It's a slam dunk. Curtis, why are you knocking yourself out? This is going to be a coronation for Andrew Cuomo. And what happened on June 24th? 13% he lost by. You can't follow the polls. It predicted it would be neck and neck, Trump and Harris. Harris lost the popular vote in all 7 battleground states.
You said public safety is your key. Mamdani has pushed affordable housing, which has pushed him to the top of these polls. Do you have a plan there that would actually address it?
Of course, and it's not Zoran Mandami's, which is to raise the taxes on everybody, which will cause them to flee. I'm the only candidate.
Did you hear that part? He said the way that communists want to do things, it will make more people flee. Listen.
Popular vote in all 7 battleground states.
You said public safety is your key. Mamdani has pushed affordable housing, which has pushed him to the top of these polls. Do you have a plan there that would actually address it?
Of course, and it's not Zoran Mandami's, which is to raise the taxes on everybody, which will cause them to flee. I'm the only candidate who says, cut the income tax, cut the property tax, cut the corporate tax, cut the $118 billion budget. Department of Education, $41 billion. In 4th grade, 2/3 of our kids can't read, write, or do arithmetic at grade level. That's where you cut $10 billion to begin with. You cut the budget, you cut the taxes, no more of these speed cameras, no more congestion pricing, no more of these fees and fines that are destroying the blue-collar working class. That's who I am, a populist Republican who represents the blue-collar interests.
All right, Curtis Lee, well, we always appreciate you coming on Good Day. I'm confused with the hat, though. I thought you were getting rid of the hat, then you got the hat back on, so I don't know what's going on with the beret.
They have an issue with the hat? Wow. They have an issue with the hat now. Wow, they don't have respect for him, y'all. You mean to tell me that Rosanna and this guy is liberals on the Fox 5 news station? Shaking my head, y'all, shaking my head. Well, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in to the show. I appreciate it. Let me see what your guys saying in the chat. Let me check on my phone. We got Garden says that he's voting for who he's voting for. He's voting for Sylvia. Oh, Saliva. That's his name, Saliva, right? Saliva. Yeah, Saliva. Brenda says blessings at Floridian Rollo. Very interesting. Thank you. Keystone said he was in a video with rappers who promote that type of dangerous music. Are you talking about Adams? Yeah. Running Up 360 says that Adams did his dirt and left. A darn shame. New York City is done. I agree. I agree 1,000,000%. Give me 1 second, y'all. We're going to get something else. Give me 1 second. All right, we're gonna play this right now. We're gonna play this. Give me 1 second. Let me get it situated. All right. All right, y'all. Here we go. Let's play this.
Eric Adams is dropping out of the race for New York City mayor. The election coming up this November. Let's go right to Laura Barron Lopez, MSNBC White House correspondent, to talk about what we're hearing. It was just reported, we believe, first by the New York Post, but it was something that he just posted on social media. What are the details?
So it looks like after a lot of weeks of back and forth, Alex, Eric Adams has finally decided that he's going to be dropping out of this race. And even though he had bad poll numbers, he was for a while there saying that he was going to stick in it, that he was going to see this through to the end, even though there was back and forth also with the White House and with President Trump. And now ultimately he has decided to pull the plug here, after pressure from President Trump, who wanted to see this happen because of the fact that they did not want Zohran Mamdani to end up in the mayor's office.
So practically speaking, what does this mean for the race? Where is it presumed that his votes will go? Before
she said what she got to say, I want to say to everybody that's tuning in, make sure you double tap the like button on your way in. I'll appreciate it if you double tap the like button. And I appreciate those who stream in. You could look at the situation. You could tell that a lot of these people are stressed out of what's going on in New York. You know, the city that they once know was prominent is no longer prominent, y'all. It's no longer prominent. Look how doom and gloomy it is.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the White House believes that him dropping out improves the chances of another candidate beating Zohran Mamdani. And so that's why they wanted to
being Andrew Cuomo? Is that who they believe it'll be Andrew Cuomo that will, siphon off the majority of his votes?
That's someone that they would certainly be happier with ending up in the mayor's office, Alex. And that's potentially who the votes could go to because of the fact that Eric Adams and Cuomo are more in the same mold of moderate Democrats than Zohran Mamdani, who's a self-described democratic socialist. But the White House was even potentially talking to Eric Adams also about ambassadorships. Mm-hmm. It doesn't appear as though he landed one of those. It's hard to say at this point, but even an ambassadorship to Saudi Arabia at one point was in the mix here.
It was, and it seemed to.
So he was going to have an opportunity to be in the coalition of the Trump administration and to be an ambassador to deal with the Saudis and what's going on in that particular region. Interesting. Let's continue.
If the president had talked about that, sort of dangling a carrot. Eric Adams said no to that definitively at that point, continued in the race for a good couple of months, really. It seemed like the president had pulled back that offer then. Have you heard of any other specifics regarding an ambassadorship or anything, any rumblings about this from the White House?
No, at this point we haven't, but you're right, Alex. I mean, those things were being talked about, and it looks as though in recent days negotiations weren't necessarily working out. And you're right that those initial talks, those potential ambassadorships to Saudi Arabia specifically, were pulled back. At this point, I can't say whether or not there is something else in the mix for Eric Adams. President Trump is known to reward people that he feels like are loyal to him and who ultimately he believes do his bidding. I mean, we saw that the administration, the Justice Department, dropped their case against Eric Adams because Eric Adams had made pretty clear that he was willing to work with the administration when it came to ICE enforcement and immigration enforcement in New York City.
That's the reason why he got off. That's the reason why he got off, because he made a deal with the Trump administration and they pardoned him. That doesn't mean that he's innocent. That doesn't mean that he's innocent of the atrocities that he caused upon the city, because he was not an advocate for Trump before.
And that led to a number of resignations from the Justice Department of U.S. attorneys because they were so against the fact that the Justice Department dropped their case against Eric Adams.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Laura, I thank you for this breaking news.
All right, so that's pretty much about that, y'all. I'm going to say this before I go. The city of New York, which I once know, no longer is available. I mean, if you haven't visited, sure, you want to visit for the first time, my advice is to be cognizant and mindful. It's not the New York City. Hold on a second, y'all. Yeah, my mistake. I heard something in the background. I thought I'd turn off the thing. Listen, the New York City I know back in the days is not the New York City of 2025, y'all. You can visit, check out the foods and establishments and stuff like that. Cool. In terms of having a good time and vibing, people ain't trying to hear that over there. They're going through a lot over there. So you just got to be cognizant and mindful. That's all I can tell you. I don't miss New York City at all. It was at its peak when it took care of the American citizens. It don't take care of the American citizens over there. It don't. It don't at all, y'all. And so with that said, hey, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. Thank y'all for liking the video, sharing the video. If you have any questions, post it in the comment section. Tell me what you think about New York City. Tell me what you think about it. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Make sure you go check out my video, 9 months being back in Florida. Go check it out. Hit a thumbs up. Hype the video, y'all. Hype the video. By y'all hyping the video, that helps more people to get wind of this type of material or content. So, hey, thank y'all all for tuning in, and shout out to all my moderators. Shout out to the members. I appreciate y'all. I'll holler at y'all on the next one.